What if I told you that some of the most advanced fighter jets ever built never actually entered service? And what if the real reason wasn't failure, but politics, timing, and hidden military decisions? Because hidden inside aviation history is a graveyard of machines that almost changed warfare forever. For every fighter jet that became a legend, there are many more that were erased before the world even knew their names. Let's uncover them. Early Air Force prototypes. The Bell XP-83 was one of America's earliest jet escort concepts, designed for long-range protection of bomber formations. On paper, it carried promise, range, endurance, and a vision of future air combat. But timing destroyed it. By the time it reached testing, faster and more efficient jet fighters had already emerged. It was not defeated by enemy fire, it was defeated by progress itself. Then came the terrifying concept of the Northrop XP-79 flying ram, a machine designed for one brutal purpose: to physically ram enemy bombers out of the sky. The pilot lay flat inside the fuselage to handle extreme forces, creating one of the most unusual cockpit designs ever built. It was not just radical, it was extreme restoration engineered into metal. But on its very first flight, control was lost, and the prototype crashed, ending one of the boldest ideas in aviation history in a single moment of chaos. Next appeared the McDonnell XF-85 Goblin, a parasite fighter designed to live inside a bomber. It would be launched mid-air, fight enemy interceptors, and then attempt to dock back into its mother aircraft while both were moving at high speed. In theory, it sounded like futuristic warfare. In reality, turbulence turned docking into a nightmare. Even skilled pilots struggled to reconnect, making it one of the most stressful experiments of early Cold War aviation. The Curtiss XF-87 Blackhawk entered as a heavy twin-engine interceptor meant to dominate long-range missions. It looked powerful, almost unstoppable, but reality was harsher. The aircraft was too heavy, too slow, and completely outmatched by the rapidly evolving jet age. In the new world of aerial combat, speed mattered more than size, and the Black Hawk was simply too late. The McDonnell XF-88 Voodoo followed, sleek, aggressive, and full of promise. It looked like the future of long-range penetration fighters, but beneath its sharp design were engines that lacked the power to fulfill its potential. It could fly, but it could not dominate. Still, its designed DNA quietly influenced future aircraft that would succeed where it failed. The Lockheed XF-90 was a contradiction in metal form. It looked fast even when parked on the runway, with swept wings and a sharp nose that promised supersonic capability. But performance told a different story. It was too heavy and underpowered, unable to match its own design ambition. Its final fate was even more symbolic. It was later destroyed in nuclear blast testing, erased physically but remembered in engineering history. Then came the Republic XF-91 Thunderceptor, a fighter that attempted to merge jet propulsion with rocket assistance and radical wing geometry. It could burst into extreme performance for short durations, but its complexity made it unpredictable. Engineers struggled to fully control it, proving once again that innovation without control leads to instability. The Convair XF-92A introduced America to the delta wing concept. At first, it was unstable and extremely difficult to fly. Pilots described it as unpredictable, but hidden inside its flaws was the future of supersonic aviation. Without it, modern high-speed fighters may never have evolved the way they did. The North American YF-93 entered the competition as a refined interceptor, offering improved aerodynamics and strong test performance. But success in testing was not enough. Military priorities shifted, and the aircraft was left behind despite its capability. The North American F-107 stunned engineers with its unusual dorsal air intake mounted above the cockpit. It was fast, extremely fast. But aviation is not decided by performance alone. Politics, procurement strategy, and internal competition killed its chances, and it vanished before production. The Lockheed YF-12 was one of the fastest interceptor prototypes ever built, capable of Mach 3 performance. Designed to hunt enemy bombers at extreme speed and altitude, it represented the peak of Cold War interception technology. but shifting defense budgets and changing strategies ended its operational future before it fully began. United States Navy prototypes. The Curtiss XF-15C combined propeller and jet propulsion in a hybrid design, meant to bridge two eras of aviation. But by the time it was ready, pure jet engines had already surpassed hybrid concepts, making it obsolete before it even matured. The Ryan XF-2R Dark Shark refined the hybrid approach, but it suffered the same fate. Jet technology evolved too quickly, leaving transitional designs behind. The Grumman XF-Fen-F Jaguar attempted swing-wing innovation, but instead created instability and unpredictable handling. Pilots feared its behavior during testing, and it quickly gained a reputation as one of the most difficult naval aircraft ever flown. The Convair F-2Y Sea Dart attempted something even more extreme, a supersonic jet that could land on water using skis. But the ocean rejected the idea violently. High-speed vibration made operations exhausting and unsafe, turning ambition into failure. The Douglas XF-5D Skylancer was one of the rare cases where performance was not the issue. It performed exceptionally well, almost ready for service. But political decisions favored diversification of contractors, and the aircraft was canceled despite its success. The Grumman F-111F Super Tiger delivered record-breaking performance, but lost procurement battles to more politically favored designs. The Vought XF-8U3 Crusader III was incredibly fast and capable, but lost to the F-4 Phantom due to multi-role requirements. The General Dynamics F-111B struggled with carrier weight constraints and was ultimately abandoned in favor of more practical solutions. Advanced experimental fighters. The North American XF-108 Rapier promised Mach 3 interception capability, but was canceled before production. The Northrop XP-84H Thunderscreech became infamous as one of the loudest aircraft ever built, producing sonic noise so intense it affected pilots on the ground. The Northrop XP-55 Ascender introduced a canard configuration but suffered instability issues. The XP-56 Black Bullet pushed flying wing concepts but failed during testing. Advanced fighter competition prototypes. The Northrop YF-17 Cobra was lightweight, agile, and highly capable in dogfights. It lost to the F-16 but later evolved into the legendary FC-18 Hornet. The Northrop YF-23 represented stealth perfection, offering superior speed and radar evasion in many aspects. But it sought to the YF-22, which became the F-22 Raptor. The Boeing X-32 entered the Joint Strike Fighter competition with an unconventional design that struggled with stability. It lost to the X-35, which became the F-35 Lightning II. The YF-22 Raptor emerged victorious in the ATF competition, becoming one of the most dominant stealth fighters ever built. The General Dynamics F-16XL explored advanced delta wing performance, but never reached production. The Northrop X-29 pushed forward swept wing technology, unstable but revolutionary. Private venture fighter prototypes. The Northrop F-20 Tigershark was a near-perfect export fighter, but political pressure and F-16 dominance killed its chances. The Rockwell XF-V12 attempted VTOL combat capability, but failed to generate sufficient lift, collapsing under its own complexity. The F-16 export variants and downgraded private ventures failed to attract serious buyers despite capable performance.